Good evening and welcome to Glasgow Rangers Nation podcast live with me, your host Owen. Guys, it's not been a great weekend. Let's just put it that way. It's not been a great weekend. The first weekend, not what we were hoping, not what we were expecting. Welcome to everyone who is watching tonight. This is your Rangers therapy session. Chance to get it all out in the open and then get ready to move on, ready for Wednesday night. However, before we start, I just want to good evening, Scott, and good evening to Martin in the live chat. Right, guys, before we start, I just want to give I don't usually do shout outs, okay? It's not my thing. I don't always do it unless it's for a special reason. Now, one thing I do firmly believe in, guys, and we're going to talk about Rangers in a minute, but I just want to talk a little bit about a couple of minutes, just give a shout out. Glasgow Gangland, who you might have seen on the comments a lot or in the live chat a lot, asked me to do a quick shout out for someone. And look, one of the biggest things, guys, I fully support our armed forces. I fully support our men and women who serve our country, who put their lives on the line for us, to give us the freedoms that we cherish, to give us the freedoms to go to the match, the freedoms to, say what we want to say, the freedoms to be who we want to be. And I just want to mention a good friend of Glasgow Gangland who is doing a show at the Edinburgh Fringe at the moment. It is on from the 4th of August until the 13th of August, guys. So if you're going to the Edinburgh Fringe this year, head over and check out the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. Check out Warriors, which is a play that has been put together by Captain Alex Shannon. Captain Alex Shannon is a serving soldier, has been a soldier since he was 17 years old. Him and his fantastic wife look after his wife Angie, look after their grandchildren, as well as obviously serving in the forces as well. Alex has written this play, he acts in this play. It's called Warriors. It's on at the Edinburgh Fringe. This is the synopsis that was written by the Record. Or Scott's, I can't remember which one Glasgow Gangland said it was, but guys, it is a fantastic play. If you go to the Edinburgh Fringe, please go and check out Warriors and go and check out Captain Alex Shannon. He is a serving soldier, a hero of this country. Go and give him a bit of support, guys, please. So what I'm going to do is I will post that review on our YouTube community page and also on our social media as well. So please go and check it out. Thank you so much for that. Just a quick plug. Like I said, our soldiers are heroes. Okay, let's have a look at our live chat. What we've got in our live chat. Tripster, sorry to say that's the league over. They'll not drop points, mate. Telling you we needed to win that game, says Tripster. We've got the Blue Nose John, Frankfurt Loyal, saying, good evening, Owen and all the teddy bears in the chat. Hope everyone is keeping well. Could be better, John. Can't see us getting past Servette either. Get on with it. Thanks, Cass. Agreed, Tripster can't see it. Malky says, good evening, troops. We've got Ian Johnston in the live chat. Got Philip Lynn. Stephen Fay, not Stephen Fry, someone completely different. That up front for Servette is rapid. They beat Genk with 10 men. C-Max is here. Stuart Henderson saying our defence is a utter joke. Completely agree on that one. Wednesday just became a massive task. Confidence is down and the crowd will be on the players. We need to up our game. I can't see us winning anything, says Stephen. Servette will do the same as Killy, up to break us and let them break us down, says Scott. Killy deserved it, end of. They did deserve it. They were the better team at the end of the day. It's Borna and Lundstrom took their seats on the bench, or better still in the stand. 2 wasted jerseys, says Philip Lynn. And what is Seema doing on the park, by the way? RFC 72 says this defence has let us down 5 out of the last 6 seasons. They're older and slower, nowhere near what they were. Said it last year, I'll say it again. We're not winning anything with this defence. Okay, let's start off with the news that has come out today. It looks like we are saying goodbye to Fashion Sakala. We'll talk about this quickly before we get on to obviously looking at yesterday's game. Fashion Sakala posted on his Instagram story. Those of you who haven't seen this yet, this is what he posted. He posted, Sea of Ibrox. We celebrated together. Then he posted, I'm sending my kisses to the Blue family. And then there's a video of a plane flying off. So it looks like that this man here has left the club. No official word from Rangers yet, but it does look like he has gone. It does look like Fashion Sakala has moved on. He is looking like he is off to Saudi Arabia. That is the talk in the media today. So, guys, it looks like Fashion has gone. Now, look, Fashion was a squad player. You guys know me. I'm not a massive fan of old fashioned Sakala. Not a huge fan of Sakala. But you know, I can't help but feel that he might have had some impact yesterday, coming off the bench at least. His pace or something, just something different. Look, let's just get one thing clear. And I'll get to your comments in a moment. Let's just get one thing clear. That yesterday was not acceptable. And I don't want to hear, as I said on the supplement video this morning, I don't want to hear these excuses. The excuses of it's the plastic pitch. Our team needs time to gel. We need time to gel our system. Blah blah blah. Well, look, everyone has to play on that pitch. Okay, Kilmarnock are used to it. I get that, but when that lot from across the city go up there, they're probably going to smash them 4 or 5-0. And we're not going to hear the pitch was rubbish, the pitch was sticky, the pitch was horrible, whatever. They're going to get on with it. Second point, they had 8 new players, but they had a system. They were organised. Derek McInnes is not a great manager, but he had his team organised. He had his team sorted. He had a system in place. He played to the strength of the players that he had. Now, I don't know about you guys in the live chat, but did you see a plan A? I mean, people talk about plan B. We need a plan B. I didn't even see a plan A out there. There was no plan A. Look, everybody talk about having wingers to provide width as a plan B. But for me, there wasn't even a plan A out there. Other than at times, it seemed to be playing the long ball. Smash the ball long. What's that about? I did not understand the tactics at all yesterday. I just sat and was utterly perplexed from minute one as to what Beale was thinking in that game. Let's get some of your comments before I carry on. RFT72 says, this defence has let us down 5 out of the last 6 seasons. I've done that one, sorry. Idiot me. Beale needs to drill into these players that for every team who comes up against, it's their cup final, which is 100% right, Blue Nose John. Every team we play against, this is their Champions League final. This is their big game, isn't it? And we know that teams on the whole try harder against us than they try against that lot from across the city because everyone hates us. We don't care. And that's the truth. Well done. That's a great point. Helando was our best defender. We've never replaced him. Agree. 100% agree. County should have VAR check. What happened there? What was that? Ross County. I haven't watched that game. Could have been doing with Sakala yesterday, says Chipster. I think our Zambian Prince would have scored yesterday, says Blue Nose John. Reddy says, would you pick Sakala or Dessers? On the strength of yesterday, probably Sakala, and I'm not a fan of Sakala's. I'd take Sibo over Dessers. Must be bad, Stuart. RFC 72. And why do we drop a centre midfielder in between the centre backs and the other drop so far back to get the ball just for us to ping it 78 yards? Exactly. This is what I was saying. Where's the tactic in smashing it long for Seamer to chase or smashing it long for Dessers to try and get hold of? Dessers looks unfit. He looks a yard off the pace. He doesn't look match sharp. And yet you've got Danilo sat on the bench who has played all of pre-season with Feyenoord, has done all his pre-season training with Feyenoord, and is 100% match fit. So you've got a match fit striker sat on the bench, and you choose to start someone who looks a yard off the game, who looks worse than Alfie. I mean, he looks more out of condition than Alfie did. And that's saying something, isn't it? Lammers looked lost yesterday. The pitch never helped. Fashion to stay, he was progressing. Unfortunately, Ian, he has gone by the looks of that story that he's posted. We have no width, no pace, no one wanting to take someone on and commit a defence. It's very worrying. There's RFC 70. Lammers scored 3 goals in 6 years. Stop feeding Barisic and Tav, never-ending crosses to nobody. That was another thing. Barisic trying to swing the ball into the box constantly. To who? Tripster says, I never seen a flipping plan at all. Exactly. Me too, Tripster. Where was the plan? There was no plan. There was no tactics. There was nothing. Yeah, RRM says, I've told you before, Beale has no system. He didn't look to have a single system at all yesterday. There just didn't look to be a system. I didn't understand it. James Butler, welcome aboard. James, it will be interesting to see one record against McInnes teams over the last 8 years. Grim viewing, I imagine. I'll have a look into that for you. Scott says no plan at all. James, obviously, I know you meant our record. We have a fully fit striker on the bench. He decides to use one who's 2 weeks away. Yeah, exactly as I've just been saying. Celtic beat Kilmarnock 5-1 in Kilmarnock last season. It's a disgrace. We can't even score 1 goal yesterday. Evening, Owen, spot on. Thank you, Prime Time. Dessers, I hope it's a fitness thing. Otherwise, it's a worry. More shots would be a start, says Reddy. Yeah, agreed. But we just didn't take any chances yesterday. It was absolutely shocking. I want Lammers and Danilo up front with Cantwell in behind them. That's a brilliant shout there, James. Good shout. Tav is never a captain, kept slowing it down with his shots. Yeah, that was another thing yesterday. I don't know whether you saw this. John Lundstrom ran over to look. You know how much I hate John Lundstrom. I think he's useless. But John Lundstrom runs over to take a quick throw in. Tav says, no, it's my throw in, slows the whole game down. He then throws it to Lundstrom. Lundstrom passes it back to someone, and the ball ends up back with Butland. So all the impetus is gone again. What was going on? I would sell Ridvan. He's another sick note. Again, missing yesterday. Every team in the SPFL is rubbing their hands at us playing us so narrow. It's going to play right into their hands. It is. I think the system he wants to play is relying on the 10s working into the channels. I just don't think that they've got the talent to do that. It's a Brazilian system, but it worked with Brazil because they had Rivaldo, Kaká, and Ronaldinho. And with the best respect to Cantwell, to Lammers, to Danilo, they're definitely not Rivaldo, Ronaldinho, and Kaká. We could have played all night. We wouldn't have scored. No, agree. Dessers won't play Wednesday, should he? I think he will. If I'm being honest, Scott. You're right, Aaron. 5 seasons here we are. Same excuses, and the defence has been the same. We've got Malky says the rugby tackle on Goldson. We should have a penalty. Typical Willie Cullum. Well, we all know that Gollum doesn't like us, so there we go. RM, I'm going to come to this point in a minute that you've just made about Cholak. Now, for me, one of the biggest things was the team selection was wrong from minute one. I mean, you look at that team that was named yesterday. For me, that team is wrong. It's just plain wrong. I mean, you're playing Kilmarnock. We're not playing Celtic. We're not playing Bayern Munich. We're not playing, not even playing up at Pittodrie, even if you use that as an excuse. Why start Lundstrom and Raskin? Raskin can play at the base of the midfield against Kilmarnock. He's enough to hold, against Kilmarnock, for goodness sake. Play. Why not Cantwell? I don't get it. Now, if I look, I'm no expert. I don't profess to be an expert. I don't profess to be an ace coach of any stretch. But yesterday, I would have put started with Butland, a back four. I think unfortunately, you have to start Tav, Goldson, Suter. I'd have put Sterling at left back because he's a natural defender. He would definitely covered better. I think would have been a lot better there. I'd have had Raskin, Cantwell, and Dowell in midfield. I thought Dowell did very well again yesterday. Lammers, and I'd have played Danilo and Dessers up front. I wouldn't have played Seema. I would have put Danilo up front. I would have started Danilo from minute one. I think he got the team wrong. I think that was the biggest thing. Absolutely awful. The team was wrong from minute one. Now, this is a great point from RRM. Now, I was reading an article. I think it was on Ibrox Noise earlier. Cholak was twice the player as Dessers and sold for half the price. It wasn't even half the price. Was it Cholak went for 2.5? Dessers came in for about, I think it can end up costing us 6.5 million. 4 million more for a player who arguably doesn't even look as good as Cholak. Now, the whole idea was the fact we didn't want to play one up front. We didn't want to play with a target man. We didn't want to play with someone to swing crosses into because Cholak's that sort of forward. And then we go and do the same with Dessers yesterday. Now, Cholak scored 18 goals last season and would have probably scored yesterday. And then we got Dessers, who doesn't look fit, doesn't look sharp. A good point from RM there. Very good point. Don't think the new formation themselves. Push Dowell, Raskin, and Butland. Okay, yeah, I'd agree with that. Dowell, Raskin, and Butland were probably the best players. Definitely. Stuart says Celtic might be 3 points clear, but at least we shower, brush our teeth. Lol. Absolutely. Someone explain Seema me because I'm currently at a loss. I am as well. I think the problem with Seema prime time is the fact that he isn't being used right. I think the problem we've got there is the fact that he's not a striker and he's been pushed up front and through the middle. Seema's a wide man. I mean, he's a wide striker or a wide player. Play him out wide. I don't Beale doesn't want us to play with wingers and he wants the fullbacks to give the width, but that doesn't work. If you're insistent on playing Seema, play him in his right position. Otherwise, it's not going to work. It just isn't going to work at all. Beale has his favourites and it will cost him if he doesn't change. Agreed, Scott. Agreed. And two of his favourites been Lundstrom and Barisic, and we'll get on to John Lundstrom and that to me. We've got that. Lundstrom starts before Cantwell was a mystery to me. Reddy, it was a complete mystery to me as well. I didn't get that. I would sell the whole defence, says Stephen. Tav and Goldson are too tainted with failure. They keep talking about winning things and service yesterday. I think look, you guys know I'm a fan of Connor Goldson, but Goldson to me didn't look fit yesterday, and it's not a surprise. The guy's had no pre-season. Look, I know Connor Goldson is going to say he's fit. Connor Goldson's going to say I'm ready to play. Connor Goldson says I want to play. Connor Goldson says I want to get out there and play, but he's not fit. He hasn't kicked a ball in pre-season. He hasn't kicked a ball competitively for 3 months. We put him out there yesterday. Now, part of it might be because there's no other option there. There's no other centre backs there. I mean, King's allegedly fit. Davis, obviously, something wrong with Davis. Balogun, I don't know what was going on with him yesterday. So at the end of the day, why are you playing someone who's had no pre-season at all, who simply is not fit? Don't understand that in the slightest. I just said to my mate, what WTF is that team about Seamer should be anywhere near our team. He's pish. Kelly didn't even play a striker yesterday. Trying Scotsman says this was the most inept performance I've seen in 40 years. Even playing badly, we had the heart and ability to keep going. Nothing the team screams, keep going. Tav thinks he's above everyone, says Stephen Fay. Raises 6.5. I think that's what it rises. That's not what we've paid out right. Yeah, Dessa was around 3.5 million, Elvis, but I think it rises to 6.5 depending on appearances and everything, which is ridiculous. Beal again showed his inexperience, his team selection. Agreed. I love the idea of 4-3-1-2, but maybe in reality it just won't work. Yeah, maybe. Seaman not used right. His mints wouldn't play him in under 10s. Sakala was brought as a striker, but was a good winger. With his pace, if he'd been signed as a winger, he wouldn't have got the same stick. John says, evening, people. Good evening, John. And Stephen Fay says, Goldson's not fit to wear the shirt. When he wasn't yesterday, I don't think he was fully fit, to be honest with you. So I think it's hard to judge him on that one. Stuart, good evening as well. But look, like I said to you yesterday, there was just no cutting edge at all. There was no penetration. There was just nothing. It looked like, to be honest with you guys, it looked like the last 2 years, but with different players. It looked like the exact same team as 2 years ago, but just with different players playing in the positions, different players taking up the shirts. There was no heart, no fight, no bottle. Absolutely, yeah. They narrowed the width of the pitch. They did, but they were allowed to do that. There's other teams that have done that in the past. Nottingham Forest were famous for doing it under Brian Clough. Sterling Goldson, Suter, a new left-sided centre-back, sell Borna, Yilmaz, and go buy a left-back as well, preferably Brandon Williams, sell Lundstrom, Kamara, Sakala right, and bring in the winger, then play Seaman right wing where he's meant to. Carlos has 3 points already. Behind, yeah. The thing is, though, I don't think Michael Beale wants to play with wingers. That's the thing. I don't think he wants to use wingers. He wants to have this 2 10s. And to some degree, does that work? No, I don't think it works. And I think the problem is that when teams come to Ibrox, they're going to pack the midfield. That's what they're going to do. They're going to pack the midfield. They're going to sit with 2 banks of 5. And they're going to just shut the game down. And if we haven't got any way of getting around the edge, trying to get in behind them, how do we break them down? It's going to rely on an individual piece of skill, a pinpoint pass from Lammers or Cantwell, who didn't even play. Came on yesterday in about 60th minute, was it, or 68th minute or something like that. Trying Scotsman says Cantwell not starting was criminal. Nobody has really played well pre-season, but leaving out a class out makes no sense. Again, why leave out someone who dominated Scottish football towards the end of last season, was the best player in Scottish football by a mile towards the end of last season, and then leave him out of the first game of the season? Makes no sense to me at all. Tav, Barisic, Lundstrom are 3 I've had enough of. Goldson shouldn't have played. Yeah, I don't. Look, you all know me. I'm a fan of Connor Goldson, but he's not fit. He just is not fit. He hasn't had a pre-season. How many shots on target did we have yesterday? Because can't really mind any, to be honest with you. I'll find out for you, Tripster. We've also got a comment from John says the whole back 4 were woeful. They had nothing to do till the goal. And the goal, what were Lundstrom and Suter doing? And lets the ball sit between his legs and lets the guy just shoot. Don't understand it in the slightest. It just, to me, looked amateurish. Really did look amateurish, didn't it? How many shots on goal? We had 4 shots on target, apparently, according to the Opta stats. 4 shots on target. Billy Milliken. Billy, welcome aboard. Possible taxi for Beale early September. Could happen, I suppose. Our style of play is barking. Callum, bro, you see a style of play, mate? Because I'm lost to what Beale's still doing. I was at a game in '87 against Dynamo Kiev. We narrowed the pitch. We won 2-0. Yeah, I remember them talking about that. I remember that as soon as told them to narrow the pitch, and it worked, didn't it? If Cifuentes doesn't bring something really special to the midfield, then a grim season awaits, says Warren. Welcome aboard, Warren. We spent too much time pre-season planning on Europe. Did seem to be very focused on Europe, didn't it, the pre-season? Prime Time says, our build, if Mike's too slow, everything's about us is far too slow. It's murder to watch. Did you see Lunny waiting to take a throw in on Tav running from the other side of the pitch? Yeah, as I said, I mentioned that at the start. I did not understand that in at all. Now, first half, like I said, it was absolutely woeful. He got the team selection wrong. He just messed it up. He just and like I said, there was no symptom, no tactics. Now the second half, look, half time came, and what I wanted to see was some changes. Make changes. Look, it was blatantly obvious. First half, that ain't working. Whatever you did first half is not working. Change it. Change the team. Change the tactic. Change the shape. Do something. And then we come out. No changes to the team. No Cantwell. No Danilo brought on. No Hadji brought on. Why not even play? If you're going to play, if you're not going to play Cantwell, if you're going to play Lundstrom, play Hadji. Hadji's been proven, hasn't he? That, you know, they used Hadji in a deeper role pre-season. He's more aggressive with his passing. He's more positive with his passing. John Lundstrom, it's backwards, it's sideways, it's lose the ball. Backwards, sideways, lose the ball. Backwards, sideways, lose the ball. That's Lundstrom's game. It's not what we need, and it just again failed. Look, I reckon John Lundstrom will play on Wednesday. I really do think he'll play Wednesday because Michael Beale seems to love John Lundstrom. I don't get why. I don't understand why. I don't get it. 100% don't get it. We've got RFC 72 says left-footed centre back clears that, but Suter hesitates because he's not left-footed. It cost us point. Every single point is vital now. We need to play Danilo and Cifuentes. Took goals to win games. The other lot concede 2, but still win as they have goal scorers. Very true. 5-5-5 the Wolf. FRA RFC Lynn says our boss clearly doesn't have any ideas with Tav and our OAP defense. We're going to do sweet FA, sadly. Blue Nose John says we should have played an amateur team in pre-season to allow our strikers to score plenty and help with their confidence. We played that Halisher, didn't we? And we can only beat them 2-0. Now a German third division team. I can only hope Cifuentes can bring the midfield and the forwards together. James Butler says our MB2 Dessa's left foot and the Lundstrom one. None of our players are creative, and it clearly shows if we can't go through Kilmarnock's defence with this narrow style. I think again it was Cantwell not been there. Why not play Cantwell? The guy is one of the most creative players we've got. We saw that last season. Him unlocking defences, him doing things, out of the ordinary, him trying something. Why not play him? Why not? I don't get why we didn't start Cantwell. Cantwell must be playing his best position. You don't know his best position to suit other players. You play our star man in his best position. Exactly, Stuart. We do. You've got to play the best player in that position. It's the only way round that. It's the only way forward. Absolutely. Yeah. Look, to me, again, like I said, halftime comes, no changes. Then I don't know about you guys, but then on the commentary they were saying about going to 3 at the back and Lundstrom dropping into a back 3, and then they said that wasn't happening. It just looked like ultimate confusion to me. I mean, the players didn't seem to know what system they were meant to be playing. They didn't know what tactics they were meant to be using. It just looked like a game where no one really knew what they were doing at all. It's worrying. It really is concerning because we've brought in 9 new players. And I get the argument, these guys have not played together before, yada, yada, yada. But at the end of the day, these are professional footballers. They've had 4 games in pre-season. If you get professional footballers and you organise them into a system and tell them to play a certain way, they will play a certain way. Kilmarnock proved that yesterday. They brought in 8 new players. Derek McInnes set the team out to play a certain way, and it worked. It worked a treat. Michael Beale sent them out. And like I said, I don't know what the system was. I couldn't see a system. There was just nothing out there that smacked of system, tactics, shape. I mean, it looked like 4-2-2-2 at one point. It looked like 4-2-3-1. Then it was like a 4-3. It just, to me, was seen everywhere. No coordination whatsoever. Like I said, it did not look good. Now, look, we can all be accused of overreacting, of blowing things out of all proportion. I get that. 100% understand that, because at the end of the day, look, that's what people are going to say, aren't they? They're going to say, oh, we're typical Rangers fans overreacting after one game. But this is not after one game. This is after 2 seasons and a game now, where It's been the same football now for 2 seasons and a game. Directionless, systemless, no penetration, powder puff attack. And yet we spent a fortune in Scottish football terms on forwards. Danilo, Dessers, Lammers, Seema. Okay, he was loaned, but still another player brought in. And it doesn't seem to have any more penetration or anything better than last year when we had Fat Morelos up front or Antonio Cholak up front. So I don't get it. Don't understand it. Callum says, none of our players are creative, and that clearly shows if we can't go through a Kilmarnock event with a narrow style. We've got Seema flick. That was another chance. Yeah. Stuart Campbell says, seemed to be no plan to break them down at all. No, it was short, tippy-tappy passes, trying to... I didn't understand it. Didn't get it at all. Peter Shields says, Beale's a coach, not a manager. Found out again. We have the players, but lack quality tactics from a good manager, all on Beale. Now, I don't know whether you guys saw Sky Sports, the argument between Chris Sutton and Chris Boyd, talking about Beale being under pressure. Chris Sutton was being his usual irritating self, but Chris Boyd made the point that Beale is under pressure from now. Look, he's under pressure. Yeah, he is. This is his team. Look, I'm not saying sack him now. I'm not saying that by stretch of imagination, but the pressure's going to mount. If we don't win on Wednesday by a decent score, the pressure's going to mount. If we don't get a good performance and a good victory over Livy on Saturday, the pressure's going to mount. If we lose to, I know there's a game between them, but if we lose to Celtic in the first Old Firm game at Ibrox, the pressure's going to mount. If we go out of Europe, the pressure's going to mount. And you could actually see Beale sacked in September, because you cannot afford to lose to Kilmarnock, go out of Europe and lose to Celtic. If he does that, then he's on a very sticky wicket. Stuart Campbell said the horseshoe came back. Sifu, like, what? Yeah, probably was saying that actually, Scott. Wrong team, wrong tactics. We're as slow as last year. Nothing has changed. Prime time, you are right. RM says, yeah, that's all I can remember too. Talk about the chances that were created. What happened to our strong bench? Wasn't used effectively. That was the other thing. We need to sort the defence out ASAP. We need 2 young, hard, or as nails centre backs. I'm going to come to that point later on. But where's that comment here? Strong bench, yeah. Try and score to the strong bench. Why wait when it blatantly isn't working? When it blatantly is going hideously wrong, wait till about the 60th, 65th minute to make a change. Why wait? Half time, it's not working, change it. Do something dynamic. The best managers if you look at the likes of Alex Ferguson, Brian Clough, Jose Mourinho, Pep Guardiola, guys who win things consistently, serial winners, they change things there and then. They don't wait. They don't give the same team 15, 20 minutes in the second half, see how it's going to go. Change it. You need to be more ruthless, Beale. He needs to say at halftime, right, this is not working. Right, this is what we're going to do. Lundstrom off, Cantwell on. Dessers, you just look unfit. Comes to next to me on the bench. Danilo, on you go. There's got to be something there, because no change didn't work, did it? Did not work at all. And I agree with John. We do need some new centre backs. 100% need some centre back. First sub was Ryan Jack, was it? I think the reason why Ryan Jack was brought on was the point I saw. I think it was Heart and Hand or maybe Rabble made, was the fact that the heads had gone at that point. I think they just needed someone to come in, settle them down, try and get some control back. And Ryan Jack obviously is the obvious choice to do that. But look, bring Jack on, bring Cantwell on at the same time. Do something, change it somehow. And taking Dowell off before Lundstrom, didn't understand that one. Sadly, it looks like last season's outcasts were better than the current squad. If Beale doesn't stop the mistakes of a novice, these players will get him the sack, says Blue Nose John. That's always the thing, isn't it? Your players will get you the sack. Your players will get you the sack, because at the end of the day, it's cheaper, it's easier to sack a manager than get rid of all the players, isn't it? 100%. Stuart says, no width, no speed. We move the ball far too slow. Every player has to take 4 or 5 touches before moving the ball on. Pointless to slow the play right down. Yeah, again, that's the thing. We're slowing the game down, playing too much tippy-tappy, too much football that's going nowhere. Look, this is a fact, right? If you try and play a team by passing it out slowly from the back, building up slowly, pass, all it means is the team you're playing against has time to drop back in, reorganize, sort themselves out, and then you're going into a wall. The quicker you play, the less time your opposition has to reorganize, the less time your opposition has to reset in their shape. It's not rocket science. It's basic football knowledge. And it's something we weren't doing yesterday, that even when they did attack and we could break out, we weren't coming out quick enough. We weren't playing fast enough. And that, I think, was down to the fact that Dessers isn't fit. There's no speed up there. Lammers is a very technically gifted player, but he's not fast. And that was missing. Danilo is quick. Why not on there? Cantwell, quick. Why not on? Again, don't get it. Don't understand it. Scott says Lundstrom on Wednesday, then that's it. I've just got this horrible feeling, Scott. I might be wrong. We're lucky to finish second, says Callum. Lundstrom won't play on Wednesday. He'll start. He will start, but he hasn't played for a year. Says RRM. The league is gone. As I said, we dropped points here. League over. I'm not a Goldson fan, but yesterday he can't take the rap. We need to sell him and get 2 new starters at centre back to replace him and Helander. We've never replaced Philip Helander. We should have said that. So John says, what scared me was no changes at half. That's what I was saying, John. Why not change it? It's not working. There wasn't even any green shoots or any signs that it was going to work. That's the thing I didn't understand. Look, you know what? If we'd come kind of towards the end of the first half and we kind of got chances and we were playing a little bit better and we were getting a bit more control, then yeah, give them 15 minutes in the second half. But the problem was, it didn't get any better. It was just dross from minute 1 to minute 45 on 46 or 47. How many minutes they played stoppage time? I can't remember. Why no changes? Don't understand it at all. Don't understand it. Could have been watching Gerrard's lot with no effort, or Gio's defensive style. Bill brought quality, yet still stinks of Gerrard's view, says Peter. Beat me to it, says John. After 20 minutes, I would have hooked Lammers and Dessers, says RRM. Dessers, I agree. I think Lammers, you can kind of leave. He just does. He can do that bit of skill, that bit of something, can't he, to change things. Kilmarnock had 10 new players, says John. Kilmarnock, again, like I said, Derek McInnes had his team organised. Bill looked lost, reminds me of Gio last season all over. Every time Killy came forward, I was worried they were going to score. Now that is worrying. It's the defense, isn't it? I think I'm going to get to that. Definitely need to change at half time. Everybody knew it, says Prime Time. Good point again, Prime Time. All the new signings brought into Bill's vision. Stevie Wonder has better vision, says Thing. But the defense is not new. Warburton had a plan with no plan B. I'd rather have a plan than nothing. Not overreacting. I think it's rubbish. Yeah, like I said, that's what some people accuse us of, Tripster, don't they? Gio's team look good. I don't think the players know Bill's system or understand it. They look lost. Like I said, I think he's trying to be too clever. He's trying to look. This is what I've heard from listening to pods, talking to Adam Thornton, from talking to other people, to listening to coaches talk. Bill seems to be trying to play with this Brazilian type system of 4-2-2-2, and Brazil played that system, but Brazil had Rivaldo, Kaká, Ronaldinho, Ronaldo, the original one, not the posy ponty one, and they had skill, they had individual class, they had the ability with just one flick of their boot or one moment of brilliance to unlock a defense. Look, I love Todd Cantwell. I'm sure Sam Lammers may come good in time, but they're not Rivaldo, they're not Ronaldinho, they're not Kaká, they're not in the same class as those guys. You can't play that system with players that can't do what those players can do. The other teams that have used it, Real Madrid used it. They had Kaká and Guti, incredibly creative, talented players. I think, Bayern Munich used it as well, but they had Kroos and Modric. Again, incredibly talented players. You can't use that system unless you have those players of individual brilliance and exceptional individual brilliance. And we just don't have that. We don't have that. We've got Gary Henshaw. Welcome, Gary. Says, I got this morning and thought it was a bad dream. Unfortunately, it was a reality. Sutton is a number, but he has a point. Yeah, he is under pressure. He is. It reminded me of when Dick Advocaat sold on midfield because he wanted De Boer to walk the ball into the box. Says RM. Sorry, John, 1 league in 6 years is not good enough. We've got a horseshoe comment. He'll have guaranteed Europa League, but do you really want to play Europa League Thursday, Sunday? For me, it's not good enough. I know it's the first game and all that shit, but we don't have time to feck about with the same mistakes as last year. And I think that's why. Look, that's why we're not overreacting, I think, to this situation, because it's the same as last year. If it had been different, if it had been a decentish performance where you could see that there was shoots of improvement there, but it was just because the players haven't had time to gel together, etc., etc., then yeah, I can kind of see that. But there was nothing yesterday. It was the same performance as we saw at the start of last season. It's the same performance we started the previous seasons. It's the same performance over and over again, and it's just nothing new, and it's not good enough. Void of imagination. The balls run up the park. Yeah, absolutely, says Callum. Brian Emerson, welcome. Brian says, Tav and Barisic are being told to play high on the touchline when we have it at the back, but they don't have the skills or pace to go past anymore. They go sideways at back. That's why Borna runs, stops, checks, turns back inside, passes it back, because he hasn't got the pace he used to have during the 55 season to go past people and to whip the ball into the box anymore. He hasn't got that skill. You're right, Brian, 100%. 100%. We need to play one holding against the Dross. I think I'll be watching the Servette ties from behind the sofa. Please don't, Blue Nose John. We will be streaming that game here. Beale might try and do a Geo and do well in Europe and keep the board happy with the cash. It's a decent point. Stephen says, Tav BB can't play at all. Sit back, relax, open an ice cold. Oh, we've got a Celtic fan in the live chat. Let's get rid of him. Let's get rid of that comment. If I can find it again, I just think I've just lost it, which is not good. Let's get it back and get rid of it because we don't want Celtic fans in our live chat. Celtic who are obsessed with us. There we go. He is gone. No mods tonight. That's unfortunate. No Aldo, Nicholas, or Gregor. This is why I wanted Knutson or Farioli. Both of them have a plan. Beale looked lost with no clue. Farioli's got a job now. I think he's an assistant somewhere. We still have too many players that were not good a few years ago. I think we're going to get better. I think they're going to get better. 20 minutes in, changes were needed. Simple. Why did he not go for defenders instead of loads of midfielders? Thomas Leeson, another new name, says, seems the same as last year. We can't hit the target. No, we can't. I've got rid of him, Rangers loyalist. He's gone. Can't blame this on Ross Wilson. Absolutely. Why not play Cifuentes yesterday? He's halfway through a league season. Or at least Blue Nose John, why not bring Cifuentes on at half time for Lundstrom? Try and do something different. Something, just change it. Original idea, please. Original idea. John, my thoughts exactly. Beale does this shit with new players, doesn't put them in right away. Done the same with Cantwell and Raskin in the Old Firm game. Let's have a look what else we've got. Loads of number 10s, no plan. Big mistake letting Sakala go. There we go. Beale, plan of now. Game was screaming out for someone like Sifu. The lad is fully fit. Yeah, he's gone through a full season, hasn't he? So I don't get that at all. Beale's plan of no wingers isn't working. We'll have to change. Go buy a quality winger or two who can beat a player at speed, skill, because we're missing that. I think, Stuart, the issue will be that we won't do that until January if we do that at all. I don't think that's going to have happen at all. I just think that it's just, like I said, he doesn't want to play with wingers. I think his argument is, at the end of the day, he doesn't know whether his argument, I think, is it hasn't worked for the last 2 years. So let's do away with wingers. That'll be his argument. So at the end of the day, I don't think he's going to do that. Scott05 said Beale is Wilson's man. Says Scott05. Now I read an interesting article today about Michael Beale and the pressure Michael Beale could come under. Now, one thing to consider is the fact that John Bennett and James Bisgrove did not appoint Michael Beale. Beale was appointed under Ross Wilson and Douglas Park. And John Bennett and James Bisgrove have shown over the last sort of 6 months that they are prepared to be savage. They are prepared to take a new broom to things. They're prepared to throw out what isn't working and try something new. So, is Beale under the pressure that if he doesn't get this done and right after the Celtic game, that Bisgrove and Bennett may act and may kick him out? So is that a possibility? Could that happen? Or have they invested too much in Michael Beale to throw him out after half of a season? I don't know. That's another question that we need to consider. Let's get back to your comments. Like I said, this is your therapy session tonight. We need more width. We should be playing with a back three for this system to work. Now, Ian, that's a great shout. Now, for me, that could work because Tav could play as a right wing back. You could possibly play Ridvan as a left wing back. Then you're not worrying about them defending as much. You could have a back three, say, of Goldson, Suter, and a new signing, or Goldson, Suter, and Sterling. And I think you've got a system there. The way you've got three at the back is probably enough in most Scottish games. You've got width there. You've got a chance to put your creative players in. You could play 3-4-1-2, for example. So we could have, back three of Suter, Goldson, and let's just say, for argument's sake, Balogun, Tav as one wing back, Ridvan as the other, Cifuentes, Raskin, Cantwell behind, say, Danilo and Lammers. Just an idea, throwing it out there. Yeah. Marky says, let's wait and see what happens on Wednesday. Yeah, come and join us on the live stream on Wednesday. Goldson was shit yesterday playing long balls in the first 6 minutes, got caught at the end of the game, halfway line slow as. I think the problem, like I said, Brian, though, is that Connor Goldson isn't fit. He just isn't fit. He hasn't kicked the ball in competitive football for 3 months. Why would you play a player that's got no preseason minutes under his belt, that has not played a single 90 minutes in 3 months, that has got no match sharpness, no match fitness? He can't afford. He's not fast anyway, Goldson. He can't afford to lose any sharpness, and he'd lost all his sharpness because he's not fit. He just is not fit, and it's a worry for Wednesday. Agreed. They don't know the system because they're trying too many different things in pre-season rather than concentrating on how we play most of the season. There was an awful lot of experimentation, John. You are very, very correct in that, in what you say there. We hardly score a goal from open play in pre-season. Our weakness is breaking down well-organised teams. We know how Livy are going to set up too. 5-5-5 the Wolf. That's a great point. Guys, 151 people watching. Please, can you smash the like? Hit that like. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please hit the sub. We are so close to, we are 112 away from 3,000 subs. 3,000 subs will get us even further. We can probably go for some sponsorship then and do even more with this channel. The aim is to get to 5K subs by June, July next year. So we can do a live show in Glasgow next year if we get to 5K by next summer. With myself and Victoria coming over to do a live show in Glasgow. You're right there. Livy will line up to defend. They'll put the low block in, 2 banks of 5. That's how they'll play. Guarantee it. What else have we got here? Scott says, Tav, what's your thinking on form? Tav's poor. He just looks looks unfit. He looks like he can't defend. He looks like he's lost a yard of pace. Look, I like Tav. I've stuck up for Tav, but after performances of pre-season, the performance of yesterday, even I am finding it hard to stick up for Tav. But the problem we've got, guys, and I think you all know this, and you don't need me to tell you this, is James Tavernier is not going to get dropped. There is no way that James Tavernier is not going to play. The only way you don't have Tav in the starting lineup is if he's injured or suspended. That is the only way that Michael Beale will not start Tav. I guarantee you that Tav will play no matter what. That's unfortunately the case. You know that. I know that. Every Rangers fan knows that. Tavernier is undroppable. I'm not saying that's right, but I'm saying that's what I think is the situation. Ian, I think we were playing a back 3 yesterday, but the wing backs weren't good enough. Alexander, if you can tell me what system we were playing yesterday, you're a better man than me. You really are. RM says, last year we scored goals. The defence let us down. The solution was to fix the part of the team that wasn't broken. True. Juninho was good. Stu Henderson. This all falls on Beale. He's got back. He's got his way. If this continues, he's got a lot of questions to answer. Correct, Stuart. Scott in Berlin. Hope Berlin's good. Beale's out of his depth, says Scott. Can't the target. Can't even create a change to get a shot on target. Can't remember Kitty's keeper having to make a save. I'll be honest with you. I think he turned Lundstrom's shot over. I think that was probably it. I think he might have saved one of Dessa's shots, maybe. We need to bring in a manager who's won league titles in other countries. Bill keeps showing that he's a coach, not a manager. Sometimes you have that. A great coach can't become a good manager. I'm struggling to think of an example, but I'm sure there are some where good coaches have not gone on to become good managers. Maybe that's the case of Michael Beale. I don't know. Or maybe we need to really judge this after 5 to 10 games. Or is that too late? These players can't have time to gel. They need to hit the ground running. That lot won the league by less than 10 points. Absolutely. 3 centre-halves, says Ian yesterday. Sorry, Owen, not playing wingers will never work, mate. It's easy to read. Stuart, I agree with you. We should always have wingers. I think Seamer's a winger. I think we need a left winger. But Beale doesn't want to play wingers. I don't know why. I can't tell you why he doesn't want to do it. But to me, it doesn't make sense. I think you need natural width. Yes, by all means, play with 10s that can create and try and do things around the box, because you need a variance in attack. You need width, but you also need the skill in the middle. So you do need different ways of attacking a team. We only look to have one way of attacking a team, which is to try and go through the middle. And if that doesn't work, then we sort of try the fullbacks, but with the best one in the world, Tav and Barisic are not going to go past anybody with lightning speed and whip the ball into the box, are they? I get that. They won't sack Beale spending. No, like I said, they'll probably give him until January. They've invested in the club, not the manager, says the Trying Scotsman. Beale's been in this league for 4 years. Surely he knows playing narrow is not going to work with every team packing the middle. I would play Dowell as our left wing back. It's an interesting shout. CGM, I wonder if he can do that. They've invested in Beale's vision, says John. I think that's the other thing. They're not going to get Beale out because they've spent, maybe it's because they spent loads of money on it. I don't know. It's a difficult one, isn't it? It is a difficult one. Tab hasn't got the engine to play as a winger. No, he hasn't. He's lost a yard of pace. He was never quick to start with. Dowling back, left wing back too. Goldson wasn't the problem yesterday. Like I said to you, Goldson is not fit. And I think you're right there, CGM. Definitely right. We miss Kent. Where's our wingers? It's a joke. And to be saying we're missing Kent, who was absolute garbage for most of last season, is a bit of a shock, really. I really do think that is a bit of a shock, but there we go. Let's get on to some more comments. Your comments. I would offer Tav to Saudi Arabia. Might work, Scott. Fix the defence. Takes Goldson with him. We've got a comment here from one of our members. Where's it? Skipped on. I do apologise. I missed a comment there. If I missed your comment tonight, I do apologise. I'm trying to get through them all. It's a bit hard, and it's skipping on so fast. JD says, Beale better start thinking about his job. Then his friendships with players. You either be savage or become a doormat. Need the players to look up and respect the manager. Yeah, I agree with you, JD. No Lundstrom, no Barisic anymore. That's got to be the thing. Stephen Fay says Tab is more important than the club. Then I'm not saying that, Stephen. I just think that he's undroppable. I think that he's become undroppable because managers don't have the nerve to drop him. I mean, honestly, Stephen, answer me this question: can you see Michael Beale dropping James Tavernier? Answer that question honestly. Can you see him ever been dropped? Live chat, tell me, will Tav ever be dropped? Tav bottled in 50-50s in the first half. Scared to take the same hit as Barisic going into 50-50s with a side foot. That's how you get hurt, says Brian. Yeah, if you don't commit, you don't go in properly, you do get injured. Agreed. Our football is too slow, narrow, predictable. Change of captain, no leadership on the park, same problems. Daniel, you said it. It was slow. It was boring. It was predictable. There was no variance in attack. There was no variance in tactic. It was one tactic and it didn't work. And was it Einstein that said the definition of stupidity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result? Well, Rangers were stupid yesterday. We did the same thing over and over again and expected a different result, and it didn't work. John says, but what really killed me was putting Danilo on, then hitting high balls in the fault. Yeah, I don't know. Owen is next to Walter Smith. We do, John. But unfortunately, Walter Smith don't grow on trees. We've got comment here from Alexander, says wingers and two up top, and players that can break the lines. Agreed, Alexander. Fullbacks are weak-minded losers. Scott got mincing his words. See him as a winger eye, flipping a wing nut more like. Must be on his knees in front. Maybe. Stephen says, so does Goldson, Brian. Has been dropped, I think. Like I said, I think we've been harsh on Goldson. I don't think he's fit, and I don't think he should have played yesterday. Beale is stubborn. He won't change anything unless he's forced. We've seen that last year with Kent and Tillman, and he persisted with Morelos. He does seem to have his favourites, doesn't he? That's very true. To use your fullback as whip, they need to have pace to be able to get by a player, or it will never work. And Tav just doesn't have any pace. No, thank you, Stuart. I think we've moved on from that one. It doesn't matter how many times we change the manager. It's up to the captain to galvanise the team on the pitch. None of that again. Yeah. Agreed, Daniel. It's premature for calling to Beale to go, but he needs to be asked some proper questions about what he was thinking yesterday. He can't talk up playing attacking football, then leave Cantwell out. That was the thing, he talked about taking the handbrake off this team, about putting this team out there and, really going for it. He didn't do that, did he, yesterday? So I agree with you. That was one that was very popular in my poll that I ran the other day. A lot of people suggesting Nicholas Raskin to be captain as well. So that seems to be definite. He goes, I seem to remember all these people saying how good the signings were before a ball was kicked. They were watching them on FIFA 2004. Who gets the blame now? Funny. What else have we got here? Let's have a look. If the Saudi team came in for BB and Tav, send them first class immediately. Sick of Tav and Goldson after we concede a goal. Need a centre half that won't let them away with it. Mistakes. Or they get a smack in the mouth in the dressing room. We do miss leaders. If you think back to it, when was the last time we had big leaders at the back? We need a Goff type, a Butcher type, a Roberts type, and big a Lorenzo Maruso type, someone at the back who is going to is going to take things on and really, be that leader at the back. Hambrick looked like they were dragging an anchor yesterday, says RRM. Cantwell's a headless chicken, runs about throwing himself into tackles, can't stay on his feet. We need better. I think the problem again with Cantwell is he's not being used in his right position at the moment. Play him up front. Let him play in his right position. Hope we learn to give these players the service they deserve. Look, there's a lot of work to do between now and Wednesday. There's not a lot of time to do it. Obviously, there's probably Monday, Tuesday to do it, and then we're straight into the game on Wednesday. We need to see on Wednesday a system. We need to see a balance of team. Now, Wednesday, for me, you've got to play Sifu. You've got to play Danilo. You don't play Dessers because he's not fit. For me, if I was picking the team Wednesday, you've got to pick, for me, I would go with Butland, Sterling, Suter, Balogun, because Goldson's not fit. Ridvan, if he's back fit. Midfield, I'd play with Cantwell, Jack, and Raskin. No, can't say no. I would not. Sorry, not Cantwell. I'd play with Raskin, Jack, Sifu. I'd have Cantwell behind a front two of Danilo and Lammers. That's how I would go on Wednesday. That's how I would do it. Give Cantwell freedom to roam and be the player he was last season. You don't leave Cantwell out of the team. You build a team around him to suit the play. Yeah, Stuart, you're 100% correct. Why would you leave the best player from last season who ran the game, who looked like one of the best players in the Scottish game? Like I said, I think in one of the videos at the end of last season, if Cantwell had come into the team in the start of the year, in August time, he'd have been player of the season last year, definitely. Cheers, mate. Need a manager who has an army who would run through brick walls rather than a cool boss that's happy with effort. Need someone in the dressing room who demands everything. Bring back Graham Souness, JD. Lammers needs to learn tricks off of the circus, not away at Kilmarnock. Someone who grabs the game by the scruff of the neck, Barry Ferguson type player. Someone who shouts at the players. Too many fairies on our team. We do lack leadership. I think that's one big thing. Please sell Tav, Goldson, Borner, and Ridvan next few weeks. Hamish McTavish's. Build a team around a player who couldn't get a game for Norwich. That's what it's come to. So Nicholas is obviously not a fan of Todd Cantwell. I don't like the way we play it from the back either, with both fullbacks dropped deep, asking for trouble. A lot of teams seem to do that, Daniel, at the moment. Where's the super thanks button, bro? It's down below. Or there should be a super chat button on here as well, on the actual thing, on the actual chat thing. If you go onto the super chat button, there should be a super chat button there. You can hit if you want to donate to the channel. That would be fantastic. What else have we got here? So Rice is the only one like Ferguson in the squad. The only problem is I can't see him using Rice. I just can't see him playing that Bailey Rice, because when you've spent the money you spent on these midfielders, when you've got the likes of Hadji, you've got Raskin, you've got Jack, you've got Cantwell, you've got Sifu, I can't see him using Bailey Rice. I just can't see it happening. I just don't think that is a possibility, to be honest with you. Much as we want Bailey Rice. Plus, I don't know whether a 16-year-old, 17-year-old kid could come in and dominate in the way we need someone to come in and dominate. At the end of the day, I think that's the issue there. I think, is Bailey Rice going to have the confidence to come in and shout at the likes of Cantwell, the likes of Jack, the likes of those guys? Probably not. So at the end of the day, unfortunately, look, I'd love to see Bailey get a game this year. Certainly would. He's a fantastic talent, fantastic player. But I just don't think he'll be able to take that role on to be like a Barry Ferguson type, even though he is, I think, very similar to Barry. Let's get to your comments again. CGM55 says, Butland, Tav, Suter, Davis, Ridvan, Raskin, Jack, Cantwell, Lammers, Dessers, Roof for me on Wednesday. Interesting team selection. No Danilo, CGM. You wouldn't play Danilo at all. JD Beal as a flannel merchant seems clueless to me. Beal should have brought a player to play with and around Cantwell, not players to take his place, disrupt his play. Alexander Cameron says Lammers, Danilo, and Cantwell would play in behind in my option. Yeah, that's what I said, Alexander. I think that's probably the best way forward. Trip says bottom right on a phone. Apparently that's what the super thanks button is. Good one. I don't know. Is it? I haven't got my phone with me, so I can't find out. My kids have nicked my phone, so that's not on there. Yeah, look, we need to do something on Wednesday. And look, for me, you've got to play Danilo. He's match fit. You've got to play Sifu. He's match fit. You've got to use the best players you think are going to get that result, that are going to give you the best possible chance to win. The players that are going to take the game to Servette. Servette will play in a similar way to Killy. They'll come, they'll set up. They'll be like Kilmarnock, but with more skill and more talent, basically. And what they'll do is they'll come, they'll sit in, and they'll hit us on the break. That's how they'll try and play. We've got a comment here from CGM. Says, I think Raskin is your Barry Ferguson type player. Would be lucky to keep him, let alone thing. We've got here a comment here from JD. Says it's under comments with $. Dessers ain't fit at all. I agree with you. Dessers ain't fit at all. He's not fit at all. Seem to remember Big Ange getting off to a shaky start. We all know how that went. Get a grip and back the manager for the players to get it right, says Hugster. I mean, that is one point a lot of people have brought up. Tripster, thank you very much for the £1 donation. Thank you very much for that. You can't compare Ange to Beale. Ange was completely new to this league. Beale is not. Ange, I suppose, had a track record as well of being a winner, of managing at the highest, not the highest level, but at a high level, shall we think? CGM says he might have forgotten about Danilo. Derek, thank you so much for the $9.99 donation. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Chipster, I don't, whatever, mate. £1. You are. I'm so grateful for anything, guys. It's fantastic. Thank you so much. Whether it's $9.99, £1, 50p, whatever. Absolutely, yeah. Nicholas says here he doesn't. It's not I don't like Cantwell. I just don't think he's as good as many think he is, including Cantwell himself. Hadji is a better player. Hadji might be. You know what? Hadji might be someone to sit deeper on Wednesday. He just could. I don't know. It could be a situation that works. When Roof came on, you saw a corner, a typical striker, appealed to the back post, but hit it in the side net. Hugster, it's the same issues through 18 months or so. Something has to give, no process. We've got here a comment here from Scott. Says Raskin, Jack, Sifu, Cantwell, Lammers, and Danilo. That's his midfield and his attack on Wednesday. Obviously, Roof won't be able to play on Wednesday. He's not in the European squad, so no Roof Wednesday. But I would definitely play Danilo. Not on this Cantwell train. He goes down too easy for me. Gives the ball away a lot too. I think, again, it seems to be another one that is definitely dividing fan opinion. So, look, it's a massive, massive game on Wednesday. We've got to win the game. And then obviously going into Livy next Saturday, we've got to win the game as well. Might get pelters for this, but I wish we got someone like Ange, but I'm fully behind Beale, but not confident. He has to make me a believer. I think JD, he has to make us all believers. Fluidity seems a problem. Players should not only know where the rest are, but they should where they're going to be. I've seen very bit of that recently. We've got a comment from Alexander. I thought Beale was meant to be the brains. Definitely seeing none of that. The lad up front destroyed Genk with his pace. He'll cause us all sorts of bother. Again, we're going to have to come with a way of defending. I think Jack has to play on Wednesday. Ryan Jack's got to play. Yeah, had you have been a good option yesterday, I think that's right. Yeah. See, is Stephen squad? But yeah, Sifu is in the European squad, John. So yes, he can play on Wednesday. Right, guys, we will obviously look ahead this week in the videos to Wednesday's game against Servette. We have a live stream Wednesday night. Please come and join us for that live stream of the Servette game, hoping for a Rangers win. And obviously we'll have a live stream of the Livy game. Wasn't able to do one yesterday because I had some things to do with my kids. So I wasn't able to do my live stream that I wanted to do yesterday because I put my kids first, because my kids have got to come first. But yeah, come and join us on Wednesday for the live stream of the game with Servette. And also we'll have a live stream of the Livy game on Saturday as well. Right, guys, I'm going to call that a pod for tonight. Thank you so much for all your comments, all your questions, everything. You make the show worthwhile. If it wasn't for you guys, putting the comments in there, the questions in there, fantastic number watching tonight, guys. If you can all smash the like. Massive thanks to Tripster 2011 for the £1 donation, and massive thanks to Derek for the $9.99 super chat. Absolutely phenomenal. Thank you, guys. Super chats help to support the channel. It's absolutely 100%. RMM, love it. Tactical genius, my arse. That's funny. 100% funny. Stu Henderson, I heard some. Yeah, okay, what else we got here? Lammers is awesome, but he can't play on that dodgy pitch. Bounce confused him. Thank you, mate. Have a good night. Thanks, JD. Will Beale pick the right team for Wednesday? Because he got horribly wrong yesterday. Let's hope he's learnt like he did after the Viaplay Cup final. Okay, guys. 2 things I always need you to do for me. As always, guys. Number 1, smash the like for me, please, guys. And number 2, remember always, we are